So, hey, everybody, welcome. Welcome to another episode, a very special episode of What's Offensive Weekly.
A very special episode, like very special Brady Christmas.
It's almost exactly like that.
A very special sitcom from the 80s. Very special episode.
Who is this?
Who the hell is that?
Who is in here
oh my
talking?
God, wait a minute. Whoa, is that God? God, are you there?
Now,
it's me, Jeff.
In the post, I didn't mention your name because I didn't know if you wanted everybody to know who you are. Like, everybody knows that's Jeff Henson. They know I'm Scott Roark, but I didn't know if you wanted to actually say your name. Sorry.
I'm who?
Son.
Jeff Henson.
That's right. Thank you.
Yeah, it's funny. Jeff and I seem to have the same type of opinions, and we're both opinionated.
Yeah.
She gets death threats. I just get blocked.
Is that right?
It's really weird. I'm jealous.
A little closer. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I never get death threats.
So you're wanting death threats. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Why not? Sure.
All right. Well, maybe after this episode.
Possibly.
You never know. So go ahead, introduce yourself, and say hi to everybody.
Hi, my name is Michael Alfano.
That was great.
Yeah. Oh, good. Michael Alfano. All right. Look, I'll introduce Mike.
I'm not
Look,
French.
Mike and I met, as far as I can remember, possibly in middle school, but we had Spanish class together in 9th grade, and I remember that specifically.
Yeah.
A hilarious class. Yeah, really funny class. Anyway, so I remember Mike from that. We saw each other maybe a couple times outside of high school after that, and then, thank God the glorious Mark Zuckerberg brought us back together.
Yes.
Through the wisdom of Facebook. Mike, as much as like myself, he's completely out of his league with his wife.
Okay.
And
This is true.
yeah, he is. But unlike myself, Mike has a terrible taste in music. I have good taste in music. But lately Mike's been doing this whole thing on Facebook about the top 10 albums that influenced him.
Right.
And it's much like yourself, Scott. I really can't believe that he's heterosexual and that he actually has children. That means that he had sex with women.
Yeah.
Because if you were to look at the playlists, such as let's just like yours.
Yeah.
But Mike has a better haircut than you. But besides that, I need to paint the picture here. Scott here is in his track jacket, like he looks like that annoying older brother, like Chet or something, from Weird Science or something, or maybe that, or no, I know who was the annoying guy from Back to the Future, McFly.
Oh, okay.
McFly.
Oh, Biff?
Yeah, Biff.
I look like Biff.
Yeah, Biff, kind of with the track jacket on.
Okay.
I mean, he's a walking billboard here. He's got all these lines here,
I just have some Adidas
straight down
things on.
the sweatpants and everything. It's like
I think I look more
maybe
like
we have a sponsorship going on.
I think I look more like a mob boss.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you had a gold chain.
yeah.
a
I
mob
just wanna
boss, a modern day mob boss.
Well, no, like if you look like Sopranos,
Hey,
like
how you doing?
Yeah, they would have like a gold necklace on, and they drive a Cadillac, and they would wear.
You're right. They would.
So
drive a
I think
Cadillac. That's true, but they wouldn't have that kind of haircut. But you had talked before about when you were going to be going back to your high school reunion soon,
Yeah.
and you need to get a cool car and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, this is probably the only white guy in Northeast Ohio that drives a Cadillac, and he's worried about getting a cool car.
It could always be a cooler car. It could always be a Subaru.
It could.
Okay. That tells the world, hey, I care about the environment.
It does. It does.
And I also care about like being able to transfer like desks and large bookcases in the back of my car. That's what the Subaru
Absolutely.
says.
And a Cadillac says, I mean, hey, look at me. I don't need to carry large desks. I just have other people do it for me.
I'm rocking the Dodge Journey, which just says
The Dodge Journey.
I've given up.
Yeah. So
don't stop believing.
So that's a little bit about the three of us. So we called this special meeting tonight. We called a very special meeting. This is actually on a Wednesday night, and we're sitting here in our recording studio. Yeah, recording studio.
Wow, this is a beautiful studio. You really revamped it. Like,
thank you. Yeah,
millions of dollars worth of renovations here.
And this time, actually, Michael was the one who said, "Do you prefer Mike or Michael?"
Mike's fine.
Okay.
MC Mike.
And Mike reached out and saying, listen, I really want to talk about this topic of immunizations. And so he felt so passionate about it. I thought we should go ahead and do this before he gets too upset and then he unfriends us or something. My only question to you to start off this is, how do you define hate speech?
Where the hell?
I'm
did that
kidding.
come from?
That was what they asked Zuckerberg, and he just stood there. And they go, how do you define hate speech? And he just
No, he sat there in his booster seat. Did you see those?
Oh
fucking
yes,
pictures?
yes, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But
That
all
guy
right,
put me in jail.
Yeah.
That son of a.
oh
bitch.
my gosh,
Yeah, how did you get jailed? What was the comment?
you'll have to listen.
You'll
to
have
this
to listen.
podcast.
Oh,
Yes.
you already discussed
Yes.
it.
Yeah. Yes,
So let's go ahead and immunizations. Now, the only people I thought who cared about immunizations were Jenny McCarthy and Jim Carrey because he was with her. I don't know that Jim really cared about it. I just knew that she was really passionate about, hey, and so I thought to myself,
he just wanted to get laid. So he
yes,
was
that
like,
is
yeah,
true.
you're right.
Yeah, you're
but
right,
then
baby.
He went off
Yeah.
the deep end. Now
Yeah.
he's
way out there now. So I've only heard some things. I'm not a person who's done any kind of investigation. I'm the person who says, the more needles you can stick me with, bring it on. That's always been my philosophy. So
Sure. Vaccines, meth.
whatever.
It doesn't fucking matter,
So
man.
what's the
Stick it in
issue
my eyeball.
with immunizations?
just like anything else. When I find a subject that interests me,
Yeah.
I like to dig into the research. And I know this will come as a shock to my wife, but I like to be right about everything.
But now by research, do you just mean Google?
Yeah, I just Google
Yeah.
is vaccine safe and whatever Google tells me.
The top one.
Right. I go with that.
Right.
So
And base your complete life and opinion around that.
And Wikipedia?
yeah, Wikipedia.
Yeah,
also.
sure. Okay.
No, it started with I won't mention names, but people being like, no, not Brian Fallon.
This is one time we don't.
$300. Was it 300?
Yeah,
$300.
There are some
Sorry.
very militant anti-vaxxers out there, and
Would you consider yourself one of those militant anti-vaxxers?
well, no, I would be a pro-vaxxer.
You're
I'm
for.
for immunizations.
You're for immunizations.
Yes.
And is your wife for immunizations?
Yes.
She is for immunizations. Okay.
Except the flu shot and HPV.
That's right. Yeah, I was just looking
Oh
on there.
my!
Yeah,
Yeah, because I was reading that there's a rather long little thread going on there. Because when we announced tonight that we're doing this topic, we asked for any questions or thoughts, and so people started pouring some in. At least on your post, they didn't on mine. My friends apparently don't care at all about
They
it.
don't. They don't give a shit about.
They
it.
don't care.
Yeah.
This
I have a way of getting the works.
Yeah.
this happened to me with a different topic, discussing Christianity. I happened onto a page where people were attacking Christians for their beliefs.
Yeah.
And there were some things I didn't realize that I had no idea were in the Bible. So I started digging into that,
Yeah.
And it actually kind of strengthened my faith.
Okay.
So then, similar thing with vaccinations. Like I always just thought,
Get them.
everybody's been vaccinating
Sure.
for years. What could be the problem? And then I started reading things that people that were anti-vaccinations were putting out there. So not being able to answer all the questions, I started to do actual research. Actually got a book on physiology and anatomy.
Who wrote it though? If it wasn't Sean Hannity,
Oh,
I don't trust it.
no, so I got a college level an introduction to anatomy and physiology, so
Holy
I could
cow.
actually find out how the body works.
All right.
Not just Google, do
Yeah, you
vaccines
just didn't
cause
do it a
autism.
cheap way. You didn't do an
Right.
easy or lazy way. You actually went out and got a college book. Of
Right.
course, those are all liberal, but okay. So you got a college book on it. All right, and so did you start off in this search with a You had an idea like I'm for or against, or were you more neutral?
I was more for. Like I said, I'm fully vaccinated. We vaccinated our kids. I didn't really think about it because that's just what people did, was vaccinate.
Sure. When the pediatrician says they're due for this, you're like, oh, okay.
Right.
You don't want to seem like an irresponsible parent,
Right.
or do you?
Yeah, sometimes. It
Okay.
depends on what it is. Like
So-
I let my kids just, drink alcohol and play with guns, but
Oh well, that's
You know.
good. That's good. That's what some of my liberal friends think that I do.
Right.
They think that I do the same thing. So so you started the search. You felt you were probably pro, and what did you find?
well, the biggest thing I didn't know is that vaccine or your immune system only reacts to an attack. You're not born with any immunity to any diseases.
So you come out wide open,
Well,
ready to be attacked.
You do have some residual immunity from
From your mother.
From your mother, but it only lasts a couple months. And so in order to be immune to a disease, you have to encounter it.
Okay.
So diseases like the common cold, they mutate so quickly, your antibodies never learn to fight the illness.
Okay, because once it figures it out, then it changes again, and then it comes in. Okay.
But diseases like measles, chickenpox, the only rubella, mumps,
Yeah.
Tetanus is to be. I can't think.
Those
of the word.
diseases pretty much stay the same. They
Yeah.
don't morph.
But you have to. I'm trying to think of the word. This is where my memory probably
That's okay.
into effect.
You should have got an immunization for memory.
I should have. No, you have to be exposed to
Okay.
those diseases. So there's two types of immunity. There's acquired immunity, natural, and then there's vaccine-induced immunity.
Okay.
So in vaccine-induced immunity, you are injected with an attenuated or dead version of the virus. The antibodies in your body
Start
fight
working
them,
against it.
and then it has like a memory. So if you are actually exposed to actual measles,
It's prepped
it's prepped
and ready to go.
because your immune system doesn't always act immediately. So
Because it's lazy.
yeah, well, it doesn't know what it's fighting necessarily.
Okay. And then, so
You want to put
are
that
you
on
watching?
What was that?
Huh?
Huh? What?
Are you watching a video?
We're live, man.
All
I'm not
right.
watching a video.
I heard.
Say hi.
I heard.
Say hi.
Hey,
This is Scott
what's going on?
Roark.
This is Scott Roark. What's the noise I'm hearing though?
I don't know. It's not mine.
It sound like a horn?
You sure it's not you?
I'm positive it's not me.
I'm on vibrate.
All right. So, so that's the positive reason for these immunizations is because the child has no real natural immunizations. They haven't acquired those yet. They haven't encountered any kind of sickness, so their body can't start fighting it. So we go ahead and inject them so that if and when it does come, it'll be ready to fight.
Yes.
So that would be do you call that an acquired or
They're both acquired. There's natural acquired,
Natural
which
acquired.
would be actually being exposed to the disease.
Yeah.
Or immune vaccine-induced immunity, which is
the vaccines?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what argument? And you're going to forgive me for jumping around here, but if you have something you want to say, just take control and just start preaching. But because otherwise, I'm just going to ask questions, and you too. Don't just sit there.
I'm just going to sit here.
So
This is fun.
The other question I have.
I don't get to do this.
The other question I have then is, what those who are against these immunizations, what's their real argument? What's the real reason if you had to speak for them?
based on the arguments I've gotten into is vaccine injuries, deaths by vaccine, and autism are the three main reasons they
spout off is the
Right.
reason. Okay, so let me ask you this question. Of those three, you said autism, injury, and what was the other one? Death.
Death.
We're not even playing around. Like, you can get hurt a little bit, you can get hurt a lot, or you could just die.
Yeah.
And so there are kids who are dying. There are kids that have died from these immunizations.
Well, that's the tricky part. You get into
Is it really the immunization that killed them,
right.
or is it something else?
Get into causation, correlation, not correlation. I'm George Bush now.
Yeah, strategery.
Cheesery.
Well, the key thing to remember is, whatever you want the reason to be, you can make it that.
Right.
Just go ahead and argue it that way, and then just ignore the fact that the kid got ran over by a car. It was these stinking immunizations that did
Right.
it. Yeah, okay, I'm familiar with that argument. I've made the argument myself sometimes.
Why, did you kill a kid in a car?
No,
Oh,
nothing.
shit.
Nothing
Oh
that
my
can be
God,
proved.
dude.
Nothing
Oh my
that can be
God, look at
proved.
that.
So,
All right, hold on. I'm going to say something here. Can everybody see me? All right. Look, I'm going to say that the whole thing with this, to me, is people don't. Oh, there we go. Okay, people have a problem with like believing that something is good for you. I really think that this all boils down to, anti-vaxxers have a real
Trust issue
with the government or whoever, and oh my God, I'm not putting that in my body. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this. And people say, well, there's no cure for cancer. Well, if they did have a cure for cancer, people would be like, well, that's not a cure for cancer. You can't put that in my body. It's not going to do that. Blah blah blah. That's what it all boils down to. Nobody wants to trust and say that somebody is doing good and right by the world by, hey, we have this vaccine to fix something. And they say, oh, well, fuck. That means that, there's some sort of ulterior motive to it, like fluoride in the water or whatever.
I think it all ties into the internet.
Give me back that fucking
The internet that point Jeff always makes. The internet is the best thing that's ever happened and the worst thing that's ever happened.
Right. I hear it every week.
But it's true. I mean,
you do.
30 years ago, could you imagine that every single bit of information in the world
is on
in your pocket at all times?
Yeah.
And we use it to look up memes and tell everybody that the Earth is
it's
flat.
like, okay, like on here, like Becky's cousin said that he had heard that they put cancer in vaccines.
Okay.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, people want to go, oh, well, that's how we're getting sick. That's how autism happens. That's how this happened. That's how that happened. It's because somebody's trying to do good for us and actually stop something from happening, and then it turns into a whole fucking conspiracy bullshit. Flat edge of the earth.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is the conspiracy theorists.
Very good. Let me stop. Let me stop both of you right here and right now.
Oh God.
So listen to what I'm going to say to you. Are you listening, Facebook listener? So here's what I want to say.
We have one listener.
I'm stunned. I am stunned, honestly, that you are so trusting. And I'm not saying that I'm not. Okay. But I think that, listen to what you say when your answer is like, well, they just can't accept that somebody wants to do something nice for them. Well, that's because I don't know them. It's because I don't trust them. It's because I do believe that many of them are being bought off. I don't believe that I truly, and my well-being is truly in their best interests. So while I don't necessarily believe that they're putting cancer in there, I'm not also the other position like it's absolutely for my good. I can't buy that because I don't in general trust government. I'm a libertarian. I believe that the government is there to do my bidding, whatever I vote and say they should do. That's it, and nothing more. And I know that they don't want to stop there. I know they don't want to stop there. I know they want to do more. I know they want to go ahead and regulate every freaking thing that they can. So I'm stunned, actually, because like for you to like almost be so trusting, it in my mind it like goes against your personality. It like I would almost think you're like no screw that, they're not doing but this
podcast is over.
But it's fine. I'm surprised that like.
Well, I think that the government looking out for the greater good of society isn't a bad thing. It's just that how do you go about doing it? Like, I don't think, even though I think vaccines are safe and effective. Mm-hmm. I don't think that the government should mandate that you have to get vaccinated, and except if you're using government funded,
on social programs.
Yeah, if you go to public school, you have to be vaccinated. If you're using taxpayer funded services, then they get to set the rules. But if you want to homeschool, I don't think the government should go into your home and force you to vaccinate your kids.
Okay.
I think you're dumb if you don't vaccinate your kids.
Okay. Let me clarify. And again, I came into this with I still don't have a strong feeling on it, all right? And let me clarify. I'm not saying that the government's number one priority should not be for the betterment of our citizens. I fully believe that. I believe that is their freaking job. My question is, do they do that job? Are they genuine in it? I'm sure there some are. Ben Carson, you kidding? That guy? He's a great guy. But there are many of them that I can't. Let me give you an example. Oh, shit. There are some that would say they need social programs like welfare or food stamps and things like that because we have to help these people. There's another group of people that say you're just keeping them down. You are basically locking them into this system. And the one big reason you're locking them into the system is because you continue to want their vote.
Well, that's true to a degree. I mean, you want to that they are locking them into it, but there should still be some sort of safety net. But the fact is the safety net is way too fucking big. Right. That's what the problem is.
I think that's a law of unintended consequences. Is that they wanted to help
These
people.
are bigger words than we're used to hearing on this show.
They are.
A law of unintended consequences.
Yeah. The original purpose for welfare or Social Security was to help people. But then they realized that they could buy votes with those systems.
So this brings me not to the program, it brings me to the people in charge of the program. which would bring me to immunizations, which would cause me that moment of pause. And I guess for me, I'm not going to listen. I've probably had my immunizations. I know my sons have had theirs. So there's no part of me. Jenny McCarthy isn't a strong enough advocate. If they could get a good actor, I might be swayed.
So if like Robert De Niro said it or something.
No.
He did.
What about James Woods? Take that, motherfucker.
No. It would have to be Brad
John
Pitt.
Cougar Mellencamp?
It'd have to be John Mellencamp or Brad Pitt. If
What
one
about
of those,
Bono? What if Bono?
No, Bono's kind of lost it with me. He's lost his.
Shit. What about
pull.
Stephen Piercy from Rat?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that. That was awesome.
What if Stan Lee was anti-vax?
Oh God.
He would blame it on his old age and senility.
Exactly. He's 95. Fuck yeah.
Well, that reminds me of my favorite Stan Lee joke. That not to
Yeah.
self-promote, but
Yeah.
I guess he had gotten in trouble in a nursing home or care facility he was
Yeah.
staying in. He was starting to hit on the nurses and stuff, and he was asking for rub downs in the shower. And,
Yeah.
Sure.
And I made the comment, I'm like, that's Stan Lee. And if Stan Lee asks for a blowjob in the shower, God damn it, you give Stan Lee a blowjob in the shower.
Absolutely. I'm going to tell you the same thing that Scott told me. Don't hit the table.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. All right.
We're gonna edit that
Okay.
joke out.
Well, here, Shauna asked me if I'm 100% for vaccines, and if you get government help, I think you are at the government's mercy. I am 100% for vaccines. I don't see any problem with it. Now, mind you, I'm not as well versed as Michael here. Okay, on it or anything like that.
You didn't go get the college book.
I did not get the college book, but my thing is this: I know you say that that goes against my personality with all of that stuff, but I am one of the largest non-conspiracy theorist people you'll ever meet, and I like just bring kind of, and maybe it's a detriment or something, but it is weird because I'm very cynical about things, but in the same respect, I don't want to sound crazy. I mean, injecting say cancer into vaccines or whatever.
For the record, you can't inject cancer into somebody. It's not how cancer works.
Well, AIDS. Let's say AIDS.
That's
or
what they
whatever.
want you to believe, Mike.
Say AIDS, and they. I don't. It's a fantastical thing to sit there and think that they're going to be able to put AIDS, into thousands of vaccines or whatever into all of this stuff, or in the water supply or whatever. That takes a lot of people to be involved in something like this. That's why I fully believe in the moon landing, because there's how many people would have to be lying about this,
correct,
to have it, to do that. So that's basically where that
and that's the thing. There's such a market now for the alternative medicines. So, and that's the funny thing about the argument is the anti-vaxxers accuse the pro-vaxxers of spreading fear, so that you go and spend money on the pharmaceuticals in order to, But the thing is the insurance industry makes money if you're healthy, even if the pharmaceutical companies make money if you're getting injected.
Exactly.
With medicine.
And that's my problem with people say, well, if there was a cure for cancer, there's too much money in treating cancer and not enough money in a cure for the cancer. So that's why even if there is a cure, they wouldn't give it to us. Well, no, motherfucker, why don't you just pay us, or price out the cure for cancer to an exorbitant amount or however much or more than the treatment, and it's a win-win. There's still money in a cure.
Imagine a cure for cancer. The person that discovers a cure for cancer, the fame, the fortune,
Yeah.
and we're going to die anyway. Even if you cure cancer, something else is going to kill us. They're going to go to work on that.
Think about it. If you cured cancer, you could get laid for life. I mean, chicks would be lined up at the door here to just for you. And you're wearing that tracksuit, even with that haircut, they would be lined up for miles.
Well, that's
and
certainly,
Deanna would have to fight them off.
Yeah.
The thing is that then on the flip side is the alternative medicine industry. It's a billions and billions of dollar industry now. You got essential oils, you've got herbs, you've got chiropractors, you've got spiritual healers,
Acupuncture.
So, they're making
all kinds of stuff.
They're making all kinds of money.
chiropractic.
Do you think chiropractors are quacks?
I saying that because I know that's going to piss some people off.
Well, the thing is,
I go to my chiropractor 3 times a week. I get adjusted.
there's different levels of chiropractic.
Yeah.
Chiropractic care. You've got
You studied this too, didn't you?
a little bit. You've got.
I have a couple books.
Yeah. You've got the chiropractors that adjust your neck and align your spine, and they make your joints feel better. But there's actually chiropractors that teach the spinal alignment cures every disease.
Right.
Like you don't need immunizations.
Common cold. You just come in here and get adjusted.
Yeah, you got the measles. You come in, or you want immunized. Come in here. I'll adjust your spine.
Lost your arm? Come here a second. I'll take care of that.
What is it called? Sublation or something?
You're asking us what it's called?
Yeah.
Kind of.
We don't have the college books.
Yeah, we don't have that. Yeah.
I had to go to a chiropractor, but I mean that was for physical therapy. My back was killing me.
Don't get so defensive.
I'm just telling you. I'm getting worked up. You said I was going to be in rare form. I'm in rare form.
Just go to a regular physical therapist.
Well, it was fine. But
did it help?
I got adjusted to my back, and it did feel better.
Yeah.
when I did that and everything.
You're lucky you didn't sever an artery in your neck.
I am lucky. I know, but
they are like sort of like Steven Seagal. They kind of get you there, and all of a sudden,
it didn't bother you that the guy operated out of a kiosk in the mall. And did you at least get a crooked pen?
He wasn't.
He was right by that. He was right by that shoe shine guy.
It was in Brunswick. It was Carrie.
Well, that says it all right there.
And it was cool. Carrie Wagner.
Oh, okay.
And so it was fine. It was great. It helped me. It was really neat. And we're winding down here already.
Okay,
there's so much that we're not even scratching the surface.
We're just getting started, folks. So just send us your questions, and we can probably address this again. Here's the one thing I will say: I am a libertarian. Right. So
this is Scott's final thought, like Jerry Springer's. Here we go.
Thank you.
All right.
Go ahead, feelings are a funny thing. No, I worked at a hospital here in the Cleveland area, and one of the last things that finally, it really did push me over the edge was the hospital made a mandatory flu shot. Mandatory flu shot. The moment you make something mandatory, even if it's good for me, everybody must eat today. Yeah, screw you. I'm fasting today. Everybody breathe. I don't want anybody telling me what to do, even if it's good for me. And so,
wow,
they did. They would even.
You will not give me $1 million.
Yeah. Jehovah's Witness, it's not the same thing. The Jehovah's Witness, I think, maybe you can speak to this. Not that you're Jehovah's Witness, but maybe you have maybe you have a book somewhere. But Jehovah's Witness,
he has a watchtower.
They don't take immunizations. They don't take any kind of medicine or anything like that. So I think they were able to go ahead and get they were able to get out of it because of that.
Yeah, most states have, maybe all 50. I'm not 100% sure on that. Have a religious exemption.
Yeah.
The problem is
I almost converted.
I hate to look at California for anything, but they've really cracked down on their religious exemptions because people were abusing it. They just didn't want. Yeah, believe it or not, they didn't want to get. They didn't want their kids to get immunized, so they would use a religious exemption.
Well, there's 1,000,001 different religions just in California.
Right.
Well, so I guess for me, I would need to study this more. I would offer. I'm not going to borrow that book from you because I don't want to read that. But basically, Mike, I'm looking to you. Just if you can continue to keep me up to date on whether or not I'm good.
Mike is your Google.
Well,
hold on. Do I need any more vaccines? I'm 48 years old.
Well, yeah. Not every vaccine lasts.
Oh crap!
Lasts a lifetime. I think measles is the only vaccine that I think like 98 or 96% of measles vaccines give you lifetime immunity. Most of them wear off.
Do you have to pay a little more for the longer lasting immunity?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Or you have to have a platinum insurance policy.
Okay.
Obamacare.
Okay, which I definitely didn't have in 1969.
Or if you get an ACN, they give you your vaccines for free.
What's an ACN?
Pyramid scheme.
Only if you...
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's cheaper if you get it through ACN, but if you get 5 friends to get their vaccines through ACN,
you get yours
then
free.
you get it free.
4 vaccines, get your 5th free, that kind of thing? Or
a card.
Well, guys, thank you so much for listening in. We hope that we offended you. We hope that we gave you a little bit of knowledge. At least Mike, I'm sure, gave them some knowledge.
Hey, you didn't even say anything about my shirt. I wore my most offensive shirt that I ever had. I'd rather be waterboarding.
I'd rather be waterboarding.
Yeah.
If you want to look at some anti-vax...
just watch a Jenny McCarthy video.
No, there's... look up the National Vaccine injury compensation program.
Oh, where they have to pay.
Where they have to pay.
Because they keep track of that.
Yeah, there's a 1986, they passed a law giving vaccine manufacturers immunity from lawsuits.
Okay.
It's not a full immunity. There's a partial immunity. Also, VAERS, VAERS,
Yeah.
is a vaccine adverse event recording system. Those are resources where people report their vaccine injuries or adverse events.
They complain. It's like
Yeah.
it's like a Yelp board. I get it.
Real brief. There's anti-vaxxers generally like to point out the dollar amount. There's been like $3 billion in vaccine payments. But when you actually dig into the numbers, a lot of that money goes to the lawyers. Also, I read an interview with a vaccine injury attorney. She's a pro-vax. She believes in vaccines, but she fights for people that are injured by vaccines. 70% of her complaints are shoulder injuries, where the nurse or doctor injected
and it hurt him.
Place, and
It got him in the muscle or
It's a
something.
physical type of.
Are you kidding?
Right.
That's what you talked about earlier when you said injury.
Yeah.
I was
Now
thinking
there-
like, what? Like they just didn't poke you right? I was thinking
Now
this was
there-
a joke.
There are injuries. There's Guillain-Barré syndrome. There's
Is that the guy that
encephalitis.
was that show?
That's Chuck Berry's.
No, Jillian Bear. Wasn't it Bear the guy that goes out in the wilderness and eats stuff?
Oh, that's Bear Grylls.
Oh, it's not the
Steve
same thing?
Irwin.
Too soon.
Oh shit.
But real quick, I'll give you one stat. Since 1996, there have been 3 billion doses of vaccines administered,
And
only 5,000 complaints to VICAP, and only about 3,000 payouts.
oh, we're fine then.
So that's literally 1 in a million.
We're fine.
Fine.
So parents, let them stick your kid.
This is
So we're-
this is way longer than a half an hour, so we're gonna have to have like a part 2 or 3. Or
Yeah,
something
because
like this.
we haven't even scratched the surface of the quote-unquote toxins that are in.
we just got. Yeah, we're gonna
What?
have to.
What? All right. Well, thank you guys for listening in. Please be sure and check back when we talk about immunizations a little bit more. Maybe Jeff and I'll do a little reading. I doubt it.
I doubt it too.
I doubt it.
Tune in next time when we talk about less controversial subjects like pit bulls and
Tupperware.
abortion.
Tupperware.
What is the best Tupperware for you?
Yeah. So everybody, in the meantime, live your life, be you, and toughen your skin up.
What the fuck does that mean? Live your life, be you.
Yeah,
That's
live your life-
Gay as fuck, dude. No, just
Toughen your skin up.
There you go.
It's What's Offensive Weekly.
There.